welcome to this week's episode. Today we're going to have a look at the transit energy of trait 41, the dreamer. The dreamer and contraction. And you may be wondering how those two things can go together, and I'm going to explain a little bit more now. This trait is really the dreamer because there's this dream, the desire, this fuel, this need, this fantasizing of having new experiences, to experience new things with new people, and to experience those things leading to the experience of a new feeling. And so this week, you may find yourself being flooded with all sorts of dreams and desires and needs and fantasies about doing something new, of trying something new. Now, where contraction comes in is that in order for us to get real value from an experience, we really need to narrow it down to the one experience that is most correct for us right now. Because if we're out there having every experience and all these experiences all the time, it's almost in a sense this kind of devaluing or not as deep or as rich an experience of those feelings can come from it. But when we narrow it down to the very specific one thing for us to experience right now, there's this opportunity for us to have these desires met and to have this experience of something new and to feel something new. We can really experience a lot of restlessness at this time because we have all these dreams, all these things that we'd love to experience, and this restlessness that comes with, when am I going to experience all of these things? When am I going to have an opportunity to dive into something new? And so the restlessness is something to watch because this particular trait has a pressure to it. There's this fuel or this drive to experience something new. So there's a high likelihood that if we're not operating correctly, if we're not following our decision-making strategy, that we can jump into new experiences from the space of the mind, that the space that says, I should be doing this, or I deserve this, or at this stage of my life, I should be here experiencing this thing. And when we enter into the experiences from the realm of the mind, then we're never going to have our desires filled and our destiny reached because they're not in alignment for us. So as you are allowing yourself to get excited about all the different possibilities and all the different dreams of things that you could experience, I'd really welcome you to pay attention to this pressure of jumping into something new if it's not correct for you, and really paying attention. Is this correct for me or is it not? Another crucial element about this trait is letting go of expectations. If we enter into an experience having an expectation of what we're going to get out of it, more than likely there's going to be a lot of frustration or disappointment. Ultimately, what we want to be doing is to enter experiences with little to no expectations, because when we do them in this way, we get to fully receive what those experiences are here to give us. And this is when we get their true value. Then once we've had the experience, letting go of all expectations, when it's correct, we can come back and share with somebody. I had this experience and this is what I gained from it. This is the value I achieved from going through that experience. And this is the part where we really get to help humanity move forward by understanding the value of an experience for the experience's sake. When we talk about the contraction, one of the things you'll notice about us as humans is when we have too many choices, when there's too many options, we either don't do anything, or what we do is really watered down because we're too busy hopping from one thing to another. But when we can contract, when we can limit, when we can whittle down the experiences that we step into to those ones that hold the most value for us, the end result of them is going to be that much more powerful and empowering. As we're stepping into the new week, I'd encourage you to pay attention to all the dreams and all the fantasies and all the things that are coming up for you. I'd welcome you to pay attention to the pressure that you feel to jump into those experiences. And then I'd also welcome you to really whittle them down, to really just keep connecting into what is the most correct for me, which is the thing that is in most alignment for me right now that will bring the most value for me. Where are expectations showing up for you? Because we want to aim to let go those expectations. In a couple of weeks from now, we're going to be entering into the transit energy of the fates. And ultimately, the fates are the ones that is going to decide what will end up happening anyway. So when we can surrender to this process of just really, the energy is here right now for us to start something new, but we can't start something new until we know what that one thing is. And so that's where the focus needs to be this week, is whittling down to which of these things that I've been dreaming about is the right one for me to enter into. Because we can't reach satisfaction or success or peace or surprise if we have entered into things incorrectly. When we follow our decision-making strategy and when we enter into things correctly is when we're going to receive the most value from them. If you've been following these videos, then you may have noticed that I've mentioned a 5-step video series which ultimately steps us through the 5 phases of welcoming in the new year. So trait 41 is the starting codon, which means in the solar or the rave new year, this is really when the new year starts. Everything from the 31st of December until now has been leading us up to this point where we're able to know what is that thing that we should move forward with. I'm going to put a link in the notes below for any of you that are interested in signing up to the free video series where I step you through all of these phases so that we can really be so deeply in tune to what is the correct thing for us to start with in this new year that we're in now. I want to thank you for your time and for joining me today. If you have any experiences of how being in this energy trait of trait 41 is working for you, then please put the comments in the notes below. It's really interesting for us as we're traveling through either our human design or BG5 journey to really see how things work and for us to anchor in once again into our own truth. So what are all the dreams that are showing up for you, and which one is correct for you to move forward in the new year? If you followed the 5-step process that I mentioned before and you follow your decision-making strategy, then that New Year's resolution, that thing that you're really going to get involved in this year, will be so correct and will come to you with such ease and flow and grace. Thanks for listening today, and remember to subscribe if you'd like to be updated every time the new transit energy comes through and get a little insight into what's happening around us and within us. Then please do subscribe. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to chatting to you on next week's episode. Bye for now.